Hey everyone, it's Phil from Red Barn Honeybees. Today is May 27th and we are back out here at our vineyard location, and we're going to be going through our nucs that we split off and that we put our new queens in, and we're going to see how many of them fully accepted their new queens. So we're hoping to see 5 queens all out of their cages walking around. Not quite sure if they'll be laying yet. It's only been about 4 days, but we'll hopefully see some eggs. That would be a real great sign. So let's go take a look what we find, and I'm at that excited and slightly nervous point. So even though you feel like you did everything completely right, things can still go wrong, and we may not have a 100% success rate, but only time will tell. So let's go take a look. All right, the moment of truth. So the candy plug is all gone. I can see that already, so that's a promising sign. This side is all pollen and bee bread. So bee bread is what the bees end up feeding to the larvae, and it's a mixture of pollen and honey that they feed to help the bees grow up big and strong. So that's why you'll see we supplement pollen patties, and that's because that's their protein source. So in order to get the healthy bees they need to have a good pollen source. So we'll offer it to them as long as we don't have honey supers on. And if they don't use it, not a big deal. And if they do use it, fantastic. Not seeing a queen on this one either, so maybe she's on this last frame and making us nervous. I can tell that there's not the same loud queenless roar that we had when we went through and put the queens in initially, so fingers crossed that she's just a good hider and making us work for it here. So when I'm looking for a queen, I typically kind of sweep up and down and move from left to right. And the queen will move a little bit differently, and you'll notice she has a bald back. I don't know if we can find her here and show her. A lot of times you'll confuse her with a drone, or a drone will kind of catch your eye. And there she is. Oh, thank goodness. So she's a beautiful tiger striped lady. She's right here in the center of the frame. Nice, big, beautiful queen. So that is a great feeling to see her. And now we'll get them closed back up here. But a great feeling, we're 1 for 1. Candy plug is out. So now we know what to look for a little bit more. We're going to be looking for that kind of tiger striped queen, so we won't be looking for a black one like our carniolans over at our other hives. Nice big frame of brood here though that'll be hatching in a couple of days. And here's this one. She's right here at the top of the frame. Big golden body. She doesn't quite have the striping like that other one, but she is beautiful nonetheless. Let's make sure I got her in there. So there she is, moving towards the top of the frame. She's up here on this comb. Just gonna get this queen cage out of here. We will get them shut up and move on to the next one. We are 2 for 2. So when you do your splits, and I don't know if I covered this in the previous one, is that you want to leave the hive, or the split that you take, you want to leave them queenless for them. Some people say you only need to leave them queenless for a couple hours. We left ours queenless overnight to make sure that all those queen pheromones were out of there so that they'd really be accepting of their new queens. So we'll see if that helps us with a, oh, we forgot a pollen patty. If that helps us with a higher acceptance rate than if we hadn't. So we're gonna empty candy plug again. It's a good first sign. And at least they have her out. Feels like a nice hefty nectar frame. It's all shining with nectar in there. Would not expect to see the queen on here. Big frame of brood, capped brood that we put in here. And there's this one. She's kind of a tiger striped as well. She is right in the center, kind of working her way. Now I lost her. Oh, she's kind of all by herself right there in the middle. Another beautiful queen. We're gonna get them shut up here, give them a pollen patty, and let them keep doing what they're doing. On to the next one. 3 for 3 so far. This hive is the busiest out front. So I'm wondering if that means their cat brood that we gave was hatching. They're running out of space. Oh yeah. There's a lot of bees in here. Looking good, looking good. The candy plug is out, so that's a good sign. And now they're building cross comb on me, so I'll have to be careful here that I don't roll any bees. I'm seeing eggs already, so that's a real good sign. Means our queen should be is released and laying. These girls are so much quieter than last week. More eggs. So a lot of people get confused when they, or not necessarily confused, and maybe they just, they haven't been taught these things, is that there's different little subsets of the honeybee that we use here, and there's all sorts of kinds. There's the ones that probably get the most. There's our queen right in the middle. She's got one of those tiger stripe bodies. I just lost her. She is pretty. Oh goodness, where did you go? Okay, here she is, right along the bottom there, along that burr comb. Oh, she's on the bottom now. She's walking on that top bar. And she just came over to this side. Beautiful tiger. I like that. And as I was saying, a lot of the genetics that you hear about are like Africanized bees are the ones that get the most publicity just because they're the most aggressive. Those are down southern United States, and they're trying to, or not trying to, they're starting to creep ever more northern. Then you have the more common ones, which would be probably the most common would be Italian. And we don't use those here at Red Barn just because the queens are powerhouse layers, so you can get some massive hives, but the only problem with that is that means that you're going to need that much more honey and whatnot when they go into winter. So we prefer the Carniolans because they winter smaller, and they seem to do a little bit better with our temperament, or our climate up here, I should say. There's not to say that people haven't successfully raised or used Italians. There's a lot of people that do them. There's a big breeder not too far from here that's all he uses is Italian. But he might overwinter down in Texas for all I know. But yeah, we strictly use Carniolans. And these new bees that we just brought in have some Russian bee in them. And on top of that, we also have, there's some others, there's some Buckfast and Purvis Golden. And these were from Singing Cedar apiaries out in Vermont. And they're supposed to be good overwinterers, so that's what we're going for here. So we're 4 for 4 and going on to this next one. We'll see if we can't make it a perfect 5 for 5. Fingers crossed here. So this guy that just fell right here, this is a drone. This is what mates with the queen bees. You can see he's got, if I can get him in the frame here, he's got some big massive eyes. He doesn't sting. And these guys, their only job is to mate with the queen. Alright, hive number 5. This was probably our weakest hive out of the 5. We didn't give them a super high population of bees. We'll see what we can see here. Hopefully we got a released queen. Lots more eggs, so she's already laying beautifully. And there's our queen right there on that upper corner. So we went 5 for 5. So kind of as a recap there, so we went 5 for 5, which is awesome. It's really good to see. It makes me feel good. You know, the queen bees aren't cheap, so you know you're taking a little bit of a risk there and of an investment of trying to bring in some new genetics. And if you know, there's no return policy if the queens don't make it. So thank you all for coming and watching. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this video. If you wouldn't mind, if you could like the video and then also subscribe, and that way you don't miss any of our future videos. We'll try to keep you up to date with everything that we're doing and where we're at in this process. So right now, with these queens having been successfully released, like I said, we'll be back this weekend on Saturday to go through and move them to 10 frame hives. We'll give them some sugar syrup there. I wish we would have had that on them already, but we'll get that on there and we'll start seeing how big these girls can grow. We're not going to focus on any honey production with these ones this year. They're solely going to be used to build up to overwinter to be production colonies next year is our hope. So we'll show you what we're going to do for mite treatment for them here in a little bit, and then also we'll see how big we can get these girls and how heavy we can get their hives so that they can make it through winter with a full set of food stores. So have a good day. Thank you.